How are you doing? It's my greatest pleasure to have a chance to talk to you, although not ideal, but still virtually I'm able to talk to you. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Can you confirm if you're able to see my screen?
Yeah, we're able to see screens.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I will take next 20 minutes in the interest of time. I have reduced some of the contents, but the crux of the message remains same. So I just want to spend next 15 to 20 minutes with you um, in talking about the latest buzz in the overall, ecosystem, right? Not only within Salesforce, but overall in the IT information technology, which is generative AI, right? So, what is generative AI? We all know, so I'm just going to skip that part. But I'm going to assume that we all have heard this buzzword. So, more importantly, I'm going to focus on what is the road ahead, and then I'm going to, keep the focus specifically on the Salesforce ecosystem. Again, in the interest of time. So I am Kannan Narayanan, and I also head Chennai Architect Group. Uh, I'm a community leader and I'm a Salesforce MVP. So quickly, we will touch on, I'll just give a quick refresher on generative AI and um, what is the presentation without a demo, right? So I will try to spend some time on what of the art of possible demos, what generative AI could do, right? We have been hearing a lot about how generative AI could be a boon as well as sometimes it's a bane, right? How it could affect jobs and etc. But this is from a creative perspective. I just want to kind of show a couple of art of possible demos. Then why Salesforce generative AI, right? There are so many players in here. They are coming out with, they have already come out with their own version of Gen AI. Salesforce also is, continuing to innovate in this space. So I just want to touch upon what are the key Salesforce differentiators in this space and why you should consider. And again, especially we all uh, being focused on Salesforce ecosystem, why we should consider Salesforce Gen AI as the perhaps the first focus area, right? And I will also double click and then kind of give a glimpse of that one of the key differentiators of the Salesforce Gen AI, which is the responsible AI for innovation, and some of the upcoming features and roadmap of Salesforce Einstein and AI. And last but not the least, how to kind of tap into this innovation and how each one of us could indeed ourselves can innovate, right? So generative AI, right? AI as a concept, it is not new, right? It all started almost 50, 60 years back. It was more of a rule-based algorithms that started off, right, back in 50s, 60s. Then it became machine learning based algorithms that kind of try to understand, the patterns, in the data. And then it kind of provided the necessary artificial intelligence, right? Then it moved on to deep learning, which kind of self-innovate, self-discover, and then came more of discover, descriptive, predictive, prescriptive kind of AI, right? So all along, if you have seen, especially in the Salesforce ecosystem, until a year back, what we had seen is more of a prescriptive AI, right? This is basically based on the current available data and past behavior and past results. It could predict the future, right? That's what we had been seeing, right? Come generative AI, and this can go level above, right? It can kind of generate new content, right? Again, based on the current content and current repository and data available, it can create a new content. That content could be in any multi-modals, right? In any form, right? It could be audio, video, PDF, your Word document, textual, natural language processing, so on and so forth, right? So what are the key success factors for the generative AI to thrive, right? Primarily, right? Not, I mean, the very, very important ingredient is computing power, right? I have not mentioned it here, but computing power is the must, right? That allowed this AI community to thrive on and then kind of come up with the generative AI. But with that being in the linchpin, deep advancement in deep learning algorithms and availability of large data sets. See, after the computing power, the one of the most crucial key ingredient is availability of data, right? The data is, the key, right? And availability of it in large chunk, and then ability to process that much of data using computing power, that kind of fueled it, right? Then advent of these generative, pre-transformers, right? Pre-trained transformer models, then generative adversarial network, GANs, right? Prompt engineering. Some of these additional factors kind of led to the success of Gen AI where we are now. Okay, now I will quickly stop and then give you a couple of demos. Hopefully, I will be able to do it. It's a live demo. So this I just randomly taken, right? We have built over 50 different use cases as again a way of on Salesforce platform and on way of showing what is art of possible. This is one of them. I will show probably a couple of them. So in the automotive industry, right, we go and buy a vehicle, right? And then with that comes warranty, manual, so on and so forth, right? You buy, let's assume that you buy this Maruti, Swift, and you see there is a manual is of almost like 450 pages, right? And it is humongous task, number one, for the owner to kind of go through everything and understand what he or she is eligible for. Same for the service representative. When there is a call, live call that comes in, and there is a question about what the driver or the owner of the vehicle is eligible for, it becomes very difficult to kind of, within the short span of time to kind of get complete details, right? Here is where one of the use cases is Gen AI can come and using some of the behind the scene techniques, you can, in live, you can ask question, right? Like a natural language question. And Gen AI can kind of go through this document, would have already gone through this document before, but then created a lot of patterns, and then it can provide real-time answers. So we will try one, right? For example, I wanted to see, this is my vehicle, right? As a service representative, I got a call, right, about this Swift Desire. So, and somebody is asking about what is my warranty policy, right? So, what is the question? It could be a natural language question. Somebody could say that, okay, I have driven 50,000 miles. Is my vehicle eligible for full warranty? Let's see if AI could help in understanding this. So the question is, somebody's asking, okay, I have driven, my vehicle has gone for 50,000 miles, and am I eligible, right? Is my vehicle eligible for any full warranty, right? So what is this saying? It's saying based on the provided context, the warranty for Maruti Suzuki vehicle is valid for 24 months or 40,000 kilometers. We are talking about miles. Here it converted it and said that 40,000 kilometers, because this vehicle is bought in a place where kilometer is the common metric system, right? And then it says that, and since you have driven 50,000 miles, convert the distance into kilometers. It's very intelligent, right? It says that, you have to convert into kilometer and then determine. Okay, so here is, so this way you can see the representative, need not kind of go through, scroll down this 450 plus document to arrive at this answer, right? Yeah, granted, you can do an intelligent search and some of the frequently asked questions that can help, but this is a case of real time, help that you can render from Gen AI. Okay, maybe one more use case, if I can, I will show you. Is my voice still coming out okay? Any difficulty in hearing me?
No, Kannan, all good. Be able to hear you properly.
Okay, sure. Okay, so now this is one of the industries very controversial, right? Where Gen AI could be applied, right? This is media and tech, right? So media and tech is built on creativity, right? And when creativity meets generative AI, that's where sometimes conflicts could come, right? So, but however, having said that, there could be some low-hanging fruits in the journalism industry, right? Where Gen AI could still be useful. As an example, right? everybody has limited capacity, right? Even journalists are also very limited. Sometimes, you have when you have a newsprint where there are some enough space, I call it as a so-called filler space, that you wanted to come up with a quick story, right? That you may want, a Gen AI could help at least to build a first cut story, right? Let's take an example. I have this, the game that happened most, interesting, one of the interesting sports. Of course, World Cup is coming, so cricket, right? So this is one of the, cricket games between England and Australia. It happened sometime back, but let's assume that this is a game that has happened, and all I have is a scorecard. This is just a scorecard, right? But I want to, fill my space in my newsprint with a story about this particular game, right? What I can do, I can use generative AI to say that, okay, can you generate an article? And it asks, okay, what kind of article subject that you are interested in, sports news, finance, and anything else, right? You can build more, right? But I'm just asking for sports, and then it is saying that, okay, you give me an URL about that particular content. I will try to create. So all I have given is the content from this particular, basically pretty much this first innings score is what I'm just passing here, not the full one, right? Let's see if it is able to kind of give me the story about that first innings, right? And again, Gen AI is not, again, perfect, right? It has to be fine-tuned, we all know, but can it at least take you, right? The first step, right? So here, let's see what if it has come up with anything, right? Let's kind of see here. Okay, so it is saying that in the latest cricket match, England showed, etc., etc. So it kind of goes on telling me that somebody Crawley hit 61 runs. I don't know if he has really hit 61 runs. Yeah, see, so it kind of goes on and then talks about and narrates that story as if it is a real article, right? So you get the point here, right? So this could be used as a first cut article, which someone else, now it takes less time for another person, human, to kind of review it and then improve it and then go on with that. So that's where, again, AI could help. So now if I'm interested in taking this, I can say accept. This can be created as an article for me, or I can further go on in a loop, right? Say that, okay, improve this, like I don't like the language, or I don't like the way that you have written it, right? Maybe it is so long of a story, I want to condense it, so on and so forth. I can keep improving it. So you get the idea, right? So that's about, I just want to give you a glimpse of couple of demos, use cases. I can go on, but again, in the interest of time, I will kind of switch back to the slides. But that kind of gives you, hopefully it gave you the power of what Gen AI could kind of touch upon, right? Every industry, every walk of life, how it can help. Now, coming back to Salesforce version of generative AI, right? What is the key differentiators, right? What sets Salesforce apart from some of the competitors? That is, in own Salesforce own words, first and foremost, Salesforce declares and claims that its Gen AI is highly ethical and it is fit for purpose, like human use. So the AI models that Salesforce has built, it meets with the high ethical standards and involves human in loop. As you saw in this example, the earlier example, where I try to create this article, right? We are not completely relying on generative AI to kind of create an article and take it all the way to the consumer, right? We are still saying that, okay, we'll put an human in the loop so that you ensure that any bias, if at all it is there, it could be, there could be another pair of eyes or another few set of eyes could be there to kind of ensure that those biases and some of the um, toxicity, right, could be eliminated or reduced, right? Second one is connected data. See, this is very important, right? Why? Because if you want to build AI capabilities for CRM, for this experience platform, right? What would be better, right, than having Salesforce use its own generative AI, because it already has the data. See, data is the king, right? As we all know. So all the clouds, right? Sales, service, marketing, commerce, so on and so forth, right? All the data is available, right? on the Salesforce platform. Therefore, it becomes very easy for Salesforce to provide contextual, right, and the continuity, right, of the data. And then more importantly, it secures that use of any of these data, right? It can kind of contain all of them, right, rather than sending the data out with outside of its premises, right, with its controlling premises, and then I'm not sure how the data is used, right? Next is, of course, customer 360. I just already touched upon it in the previous point. And last but not the least, this data cloud, right? This, which is now rebranded as a AI cloud, which is like in the earliest avatar, it was called CDP, customer data platform, then Genie, then of course data cloud. Now it's called AI cloud. And watch out, right? Salesforce has been rebranding, this in this particular space, especially, right? Few times it is going through few iterations because they want to get it right, and then with less ambiguity. The message should be clear, right? That's why it has gone through few iterations in branding. Now it is called AI cloud. AI cloud, simply put, it's like a data lake behind the scene that kind of brings the power of data not only within Salesforce, from across all other platforms, right? So now, just taking one example from that earlier one, okay, how Salesforce claims that their innovation happens, right? That a trust layer, the so-called Einstein trust layer, right? How it works. So you have front-ending Salesforce apps. This is where you may have a Lightning component or some kind of a user interface that requires a need of a generative AI. So it all starts from the left-hand side, right? This is next is met with what is called as a prompt, right? Prompt is nothing but a way for you to ask a question, relevant question, contextual question, so that you maximize the accuracy of the output, right? So that itself is in art in itself. So that's why it's called prompt engineering. Salesforce is coming up with a prompt builder very shortly, that we will see in the next slide. So prompt template, right? So that basically allows a creation of a prompt, a question, right, or a request to generative AI engine, right? Then the data, right, the data that is needed, contextual data that is needed, it is retrieved in a more secured way, either from both from here, from this side, and then data is grounded. When we say grounded, it is taken to the specific context, whether it is a lead page or a opportunity page or account page. It's grounded, right? Next, the data is masked. Any data that is considered to be PII, specific, it is masked. Then prompt defense kind of comes further to ensure that your messages, all the input is more secure, right? Now it goes to large language model gateway, and then the prompt then goes. There is an additional layer of trust here, which is a transform layer security, right? And then it goes to whether if it has to go to the external model, it goes and then gets the your details, or bring your own model. Or if you are already there in a Salesforce hosted, if you are leveraging Salesforce hosted generative AI models, probably you stop here, right? You are here, right? And more importantly, if the data has to go outside, there is a zero retention. Now result comes back, right? Once it comes here, you have multiple layer of filtration that happens. Toxicity, right? If the data is biased, or if it has this toxic info, right? It is detected and it is eliminated, right? It is further filtered. Now the data masking, the reverse thing happens. That is, you get a demasked data because you have to make it contextual. Then comes feedback mechanism. So this is where, this is for the hosted model. As of now, for this kind of a model, we wanted to get, Salesforce wants to get the real-time effectiveness, right? Feedback on the effectiveness of the result that is coming, right? Like a thumbs up, thumbs down kind of a thing. You can provide. And more importantly, audit trail is maintained. This is one of the very important differentiator with Salesforce trust layer, right? Every request that goes out, comes in, everything is logged, audit trail. Then the final result is presented on the screen. So now you can see All these things will happen in a very more secured, infrastructure, and with in a more trusted way. So that's one of the reasons where you could assure by going with Salesforce generative AI solutions, you are assured your entire CRM data is secure. Okay, now here is a quick glimpse of the current available generative AI solutions on the Salesforce platform, and some of the upcoming ones, right? Again, safe harbor, forward-looking statement intact. So on the Einstein sales side, so you have an ability. There is generally available capability of generating emails, right? There is a sales GPT and forecasting available. On the service side, there is service GPT and the field service GPT available, and so on and so forth, right? You can see commerce, there is some capability available, platform services, so on and so forth. Industries, right? There are some upcoming pilots, right? And as a developers, interesting thing is there is open beta for developers, which is Einstein for developers, right? You can leverage it using VS Code, and you can kind of get more prompt, more help on completing your code, writing test classes, so on and so forth, right? How can you get access to some of these capabilities, right? As you all know, if it is generally available, if you are a customer, you get if you can get this as part of the releases, you get this capability available, right? As simple as that, right? As a partner, you can also get it, some of them, if not all of them, through developer edition, and then you can also enable certain features there, right? If it is pilot, only it is available for selective customers, you have to participate. If it is beta, it's after pilot, it is available in a beta form for open testing, right? Then it becomes GA, right? So some of these capabilities, if you belong to partner organization, you can go to partner learning camp, and you can kind of spin off a simple everyday demo org, right? SDO, simple demo org, and you can get sales, Einstein sales generate email capability, and you can build some of the use cases around it, right? As a salesperson, you want to generate an email, or you wanted to reply for an email, you can generate those simple use cases, you can do it. But if you have unlimited edition, you can also combine the power of both sales and service, and you can build some of those additional service capabilities also, like response summary and so on and so forth, right? Now, with this, okay, in the interest of time, I would quickly touch upon, okay, as if you are like me and you want to ask, okay, where do I go from here? This is all good. I have seen a couple of demos, art of possible, and I have seen Salesforce is coming up with quite a lot of capabilities. Where do I go from there? How do I kind of get my hands wet, and how do I do it, right? Your best friend, first and foremost, is this AI pocket guide, maintained very diligently maintained by Salesforce, which is as simple as that, sfdc.co /AI pocket guide, right? Um, and once you go there, most of this information is already there. All the information that I'm providing here, it is already there, right? That is your own stop shop. Second is, there is an office hours every Thursday, IST evening time, Sri Lanka, evening time. It is hosted by the the Salesforce, much abled leadership. They kind of come in, and then they talk about what is happening, every week after week. So I highly recommend you to kind of participate. It's an hour informative session. You can spin off SDO. I already mentioned it. You can go to Trailhead and start with the learning enablement. AA associate trail mix is there. Credentials. Who would not like credentials, right? Formal credentials. I encourage each one of you to explore the certified AA associate. This is a new exam that has come out recently around Dreamforce. A very simple exam. You can just takes 40 questions. You have to get 26 right answers. Very simple. It tests the basic your understanding around AI, and more importantly, in the Salesforce ecosystem, what are all some of the guiding principles by which Salesforce has built this generative AI, the capability, etc. I would highly encourage you to try this, right? Secondly, and a little advanced exam is the Data Cloud Consultant exam that is also available. You can try it. And last but not the least, connect through the community, right? With that, again, in the interest of time, I will take a pause. If there is any question, I will take it up. If not, you can connect me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you can post it over there. Send it to me one on one. I will try to do my best to respond. It is my greatest pleasure to be part of this today, and with to be meeting you guys virtually. And thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Kannan, for the valuable discussion. So, as you all know, generative AI is the one of the current buzzword in the in all the industry, and Salesforce is not an exception. Even this year, Dreamin was totally focused on AI stuffs. So, in that view, it was a really, really valuable session. Thanks, Sana. Actually, Kannan is supposed to join us in person, but unfortunately, he got some other unexpected commitment. He's part of the Salesforce advisory board. So that's why he couldn't make it in person. But we really, really would love to have him here in person next year, Dreaming conference.
Absolutely, absolutely. Vanakkam. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much.